Today's a special day. Today is a day where I determine, along with my audience here, whether or not these people are overreacting. That's right. Today, we are looking at, am I overreacting? My wife went out to lunch with a guy she met at the gym. I think this is a huge no-no. Am I overreacting? This falls under the category of, can men and women be friends on their own, independently, privately, while either of them are in a relationship? A lot of context needed here. A lot of context-a-roni. My wife and I have been together for 14 years, married for 11 years. I have been cheated on in the past several times, so I'm very sensitive to any behavior that could be construed that way. Uh-oh. We got some man with baggage. Here we have a gentleman with baggage. Here's the thing, though. I've been in a relationship where somebody's been cheated on, and honestly, like, dude, they were very paranoid. They were very paranoid of anything and everything I could do. I was at a hotel, and I was recording a video for my Instagram stories, and there was like this robot that was delivering food and stuff to somebody's hotel room, and it was sick, right? And so I recorded this Instagram story of this robot that was like traveling to the elevator, and there was a woman next to me, a woman who was like maybe in her 50s or 60s, but she had a youthful voice, and she was standing next to me while I was recording that Instagram story, and she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Look at that robot. Isn't that wild? You could tell by looking on the Instagram story that that it was this crazy robot, and then you heard a woman's voice next to me, and my girlfriend at the time was like, who is that? Did you meet up with her here at the hotel? What room is she in? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, it is some strange lady that's next to me. What are you talking about? And so that's the kind of baggage that you can bring into a relationship if you've been, if something's that, it'll just warp your mind. It'll just twist your mind around. It could really mess you up, dude. What is otherwise a completely sane, awesome person ruined by this mentality that any woman equals bad, and this guy was in a relationship for 14 years, married for 11 whole years, but clearly he has some issues because he's been cheated on several times in the past, and so he's very sensitive to any behavior. I get it. It's tough. It ain't great, but it just sucks, dude. Somebody in the chat says insecurities are complex and difficult. Yeah, they're complex. I think the whole cheating thing, I think the whole insecurities thing is not a one size fits all. In my personal opinion, I can understand your baggage until a point. If your baggage causes you to be disrespectful to me and my autonomy, meaning the way that I can live my life, if I have to be paranoid that there's a woman anywhere around me, strangers or no, when I'm recording an Instagram video of a robot in a hotel, I don't want that. And all the best to her. And this isn't, I'm not trying to dog on anybody, but it felt like she was trying to install security cameras in my brain. That's what it feels like to be in a relationship with somebody who just... You don't want that. You don't want to feel like you're a prisoner in your own relationship, and anything you say or do can be misconstrued as, there's a level. There's a level to that. So with that context, let's go back into this. My wife goes to the same gym 5 days a week and is always there when they open at 5 a.m. It is a serious thing for her. I personally go 3 days a week, but a different gym. She really be at the gym, dude. That's a lot of time. Needless to say, conversations have been struck up with her by various people for the last 5 years or so. One guy in particular, who is divorced and 15 years older, started being friendly to her a while back. Not sure how long exactly. A conversation arose about a good lunch special at a steakhouse in town, and it became an ongoing thing. You gotta try this pork chop, etc. Well, on Friday afternoon, she went to lunch with this gentleman, and then when she came home, she mentioned that her leftovers were from this place and that she went with a friend. Never said anything about a work friend, so I pressed a bit more for curiosity's sake. She told me what happened and swore up and down nothing happened and she's not interested in that way. Okay, guy approaches her at the gym. He's been after her for a while. He keeps saying, you got to try this pork chop. She says, yes. I don't know. We could trust her, right? Has the guy met him before? Has this guy met the gym friend before? That's the question. That's some context we need. I don't trust the gym guy. Not sure about the wife. So far, she sounds genuine. I like that she doesn't hide the fact that she's going to lunch with the gym friend. Hiding it and lying would be suspicious. I don't trust the pork chops. She told me what happened and swore up and down nothing happened, and she's not interested in that way. I will say our marriage has had its ups and downs, but the ups were way higher than the downs. What do you mean? What were the downs? Has she ever, was she somebody who ever cheated on you? I don't think so. That doesn't seem that way. My wife has given me zero reason in 14 years not to trust her. However, the circumstances are quite suspect. What does everyone think? Wife gave him zero reasons not to trust her. That tells me that she's never cheated on him before, ever. And she's been honest with him this entire time. So that's pretty good. Are you overreacting about the wife's behavior? I don't think so. But does something need to be said? Do you need to meet that guy? Do you need to go in there and do you need to meet that guy? And you need to see what's going on. The gym guy, you got to have a conversation with that gym guy. Or you need to be like, hey, I like that, but that was kind of like a date, and I don't really like that idea. You could go as a group. Maybe I just don't want a one-on-one lunch at a steakhouse where you're at the gym 5 days a week, and this guy thinks he can, it's like the Benjamin Franklin technique where you put your foot in the door. And it's a small little thing. It's a little, you get a little yes on something. And then over time, psychologically, that yes gets slightly bigger and slightly bigger. Called the Benjamin Franklin technique. It's used in sales. It's used in manipulation. Some people will use that as a manipulative tactic. Maybe that's what this guy is doing. Somebody says, I'm going out to lunch with somebody I met at the gym. And if he has not yet told her that he is worried about being cheated on because of what has happened in his past, they should probably establish this as at least common practice for the future if anything like this happens again. That's a good point there, Ender Cobra. Maybe using it to shut him up. Like, okay, I did it. We went to lunch. Stop talking to me. That's really interesting. That is actually something that I was thinking about too. I was like, okay, maybe she did it to get him off her back. It's like, great, we had it. Now what? Because if you go to the same gym for 5, dude, I've canceled a gym membership over less. One time I was at a gym, a guy who knew who I was literally standing on the treadmill next to me and was talking to me the entire time. He wasn't walking. I had my headphones in, and he was standing next to me on the treadmill, and he was a surprise microphone. He was just standing there on the treadmill next to me, talking to me. About what? About his script ideas. I think the whole can men and women be friends thing, and let me start by saying this. Of course, men and women can be friends. Of course. Yes. 1,000% yes. However, the inception of that relationship. How did that relationship begin? What is it like 90% of communication is nonverbal. So people can say things to you. People can say anything. They could justify anything in any kind of way. But if they behave a weird way, if they say, hey, how are you? That's friendly, right? But if they look at you and they look you up and down, they're like, hey, how are you? Technically, all the guy said was, hey, how are you? But then there's a subtextual thing. There is this subtexturonian cheese that really changes everything. It changes everything. And that's hard to put parameters around. Ultimately, the only real solution to this is, do I trust my partner or not? Do I trust my partner to make the right decisions or not? Do I trust my partner not to cheat? So, is this guy overreacting? No. Yes, because he didn't set an expectation. No, maybe, no. Wow. Yes, he is, because there's probably nothing there. 50-50. That is fascinating. We're getting a lot down the middle. Most say no, he's not overreacting, but some say yes. His partner can't know until he says something. Okay, there we go. I think that's something that everybody is in agreement on, is that the guy himself needs to say, just don't have lunch with the guy one-on-one when I'm not around. It just feels weird. I think maybe that's what it is. But people are saying he needs to trust his wife. I agree. And she's not giving him a reason to distrust her. I think that's just I think every relationship, you should have a little rule book on what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with. That's all. Hey, I know it's probably nothing, but I would just appreciate it if you didn't go on a one-on-one thing with this guy who seems to be interested in you. I don't want you to give him the wrong idea, and I don't want to have to deal with the aftermath of that. Somebody says, my wife sent me this thread because pretty much this exact scenario happened with us, but much earlier in our marriage, about 2 years in. She went to a gym 4 to 5 days per week at around 5 a.m. The guy was also about 15-ish years older, and they went to lunch after meeting in the gym and apparently regularly striking up brief, casual conversations. She came home with leftovers, which I ate. Wow, that's like literally the exact same scenario. What the heck? After she told me about the whole thing, I asked her why she went on a date with somebody despite, being married to me. We mostly laughed about the whole thing, first by ourselves and then with our friends who we saw later that night, and agreed this was a ridiculous thing to do and obviously a date. As if to illustrate the point for us in real time, the guy starts flirt texting her while we are with our friends that night, and we all start laughing further as we read the evidence that I was right and maybe my wife shouldn't innocently go to lunch with random dudes. I was mostly happy about how right I was being proven, and I jokingly bring this up a decade later if the situation ever calls for a playful jab. Needless to say, that was the only time they hung out, and I believe conversation generally went way down. I definitely didn't ask her to switch gyms or even stop talking to him, but it was understood that she should keep the appropriate context going forward, that she's being hit on, and any friendship or whatever with him wouldn't work. It just all went away quickly after we all had a laugh about it, though I was annoyed that some loser was trying to hit on a woman over a decade his junior who was clearly married. Some people just suck. Your conversation with your wife should go something like what I just described. If it doesn't, something might be wrong. Daniel, read the edits on the post. We have had a lengthy discussion about all of this. She didn't necessarily hide it from me, and I didn't have to prod her as much at all for her to tell me that it was a man from the gym. She's known him for 2 years in passing, and they talk occasionally. She's known and has never given me a reason to think she's cheated. This time just seemed very suspicious, and she apologized a lot for forgetting to tell me she was going to do this. Okay, so she was going to do this, but she forgot to tell him she was going to do this. She's very scatterbrained and forgetful, so it's not out of the ordinary. Anyways, thank you everyone for the rational, sane, helpful advice. Luckily, I did most of that before I saw all of your replies, so I think we are okay now. Thank you again. All right, boundaries. That's what it is, right? A little bit of boundaronis, I think. Am I overreacting? My ex texted me. Ooh la la, ooh la la.
What does he have to say? Let's find out.
My ex texted me after learning I was going to a musical the same date and time as them. Am I overreacting? First of all, how does the ex know when you're going to the musical? Are they stalking your stuff? They looking at your stories? Do you have a mole in your friendship group? What gives? My ex texted me after learning I was going to a musical the same date/time as them. Am I overreacting? I don't think I should have to adjust my plans with someone, I may add, because they don't feel comfortable being in the same space as me. I made plans well in advance. I understand you took off work, but just don't talk to me or come over to me. Am I tripping? Please tell me if I'm in the wrong here. I think this was a ridiculous request to be coming from someone who I know would never change their plans for me if I was in their shoes. To add, they broke up with me out of the blue. I literally have been nothing but nice to them, so I don't see a reason why they feel so uncomfortable in the same room as me. Like, bro, I don't expect you to talk to me. And by the way, they're going to the same musical. A whole big old theater? Hello? You're worried about seeing somebody in a theater, dude? In the audience? During what? Intermission? Before you sit down and take your seats? Relax. Hey, I heard you might be going to the Saturday matinee for Little Mermaid. I'm not super comfortable being in the same space as you currently. I took the day off of work and can't really change my plans. If you wouldn't mind going to a different show, I would really appreciate it. Yikes. This person replies, respectfully, no, I'm not changing my plans because you can't handle seeing me in a theater full of people. You don't have to sit near me or talk to me. I'm going to the 2 p.m. show and you can plan accordingly. I think that's a perfect response. I think that's it. You cannot, you in this world, you cannot expect other people to acquiesce to your specific needs. You just can't. If you expect that, if you need that, then work on strengthening your own fortitude. Work on that, dude. My guess, if that guy broke up with you, that's what happened, right? My guess is this guy is bringing somebody that this person might have been paranoid about. This guy is about to do something that is a little weird. That's what I think. They're going to bring somebody where this person's going to go, that's weird. Why are they bringing them? Somebody in the comments says he definitely cheated and is bringing that person. LOL. Exactly, dude. That is exactly right. This screams narcissistic behavior to me. Like they went out of their way to somehow find out you were going to the same showing of a play and demanded you change your plans so they wouldn't have to sit in the same dark theater where you aren't allowed to be talking to people, so there's no chance you'd bump into them mid-show and strike up an argument. The only way I could see this being an appropriate response is if y'all bought 4 ticketed seats together before the breakup and they didn't want to have to bring their new fling to sit next to you and your new date. But that situation seems highly unlikely, so I'm gonna go with they are absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think they're just little bonkers. Not overreacting. Of course you don't need to change plans. It's a theater. It's not like you're invited to a birthday party together. This paradoxically could be a way to initiate contact via texting. Just curious. Any reason at all for a breakup that your ex mentioned? All they said was that they just don't feel the same way as me. After dating for almost 2 years? I was like, okay, all right. That confirms it to me. They are bringing a fling that you have been suspicious about. Oh, that is guaranteed, baby. Yo, he definitely is bringing somebody that you don't want to be there. For sure, dude. And y'all have been together for 2 years? Absolute insanity. Detective Daniel has cracked the case. Yeah, see, this person here says, nah, you're right. I'm wondering if they're bringing someone with them and that's why they're acting sus. Yes, abso-freaking-lutely, dude. I'm bringing someone with me, so joke's on them. Clown emoji! Okay, all right, this is up. But the thing is up, do you know who they're bringing? Because they're probably bringing somebody you're not going to like. Because y'all are going to go see The Little Mermaid. He ain't going to see that by himself. No offense to the Little Mermaid lovers out there. What if he's dating her mom? Great question. $5, that's her sister. I bet it's the dog who's the fling. I'm gonna move on. Am I overreacting to think this is cheating? I found these texts between my husband and his coworker. Here's some context. My husband and I have been dating for 5 years and just recently got married 6 months ago. I met this coworker. Her and her boyfriend worked at my husband's company, so we went on a double date over the holidays. But shortly after, they broke up and her boyfriend got laid off. Guess my husband saw that as his opportunity. Also, these texts were in his recently deleted, even though the last message was from yesterday. So he was definitely trying to hide it from me. So we got a guy trying to hide something. Put texts in recently deleted. So at this point, safe to assume, she suspected something. She went through his phone and she found under recently deleted him texting a woman who recently broke up with her boyfriend. What are the text messages? Let's take a gander menander, shall we? Is this a picture? Okay, it's a picture of the girl. Thriving back here, but you're welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't give them to you again. I wonder what that means. I've never seen anyone look so freaking pretty while having a mental breakdown. LOL. Love it? Question mark. LOL. Not your fault. That is a no. It's a bit of a no, I think. This is enough. Calling someone pretty while you're in a relationship in response to them sending a selfie is, I don't know how much more of a no that is. I think that's about it. I don't really need to read anymore, but y'all want to see the rest of it? Because there's a couple more. So they're responding. He said the pretty thing. Got 22 responses to that somehow. Don't mention it, LOL. I heard you crying and was completely confused. Like, did I break her camera? LOL. But seriously, office cute heart. Like office cutie? Is he trying to call her? Don't tell HR I said that, LOL. Okay. If you as a man are saying something to a woman and you gotta follow it up with don't tell HR I said that, LOL. Especially if it's about the woman's appearance or how you feel about the woman emotionally, that's probably a no-go. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater! Divorce! These comments are awesome. It's not even good flirting, says Jaden. He knows what he's doing and he's warning her not to tell. That's tricky, isn't it? That sucks, dude. When you see somebody who's like, don't tell nobody, we freaking uh-oh, dude. No, it's okay. It's totally not your fault. I think management is just on a power trip, TBH, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so she's not responding to the cute thing. It seems like she's not pursuing or she's playing it safe, but he's definitely pursuing. Trust me, nobody was judging by any means. You know how to work our angles. Camera. Okay, so this is like a selfie reference. LMAO good. I always thought you were cool as F. Heads up, if I start having a bad day, I'm gonna need a selfie for motivation, LOL. Haha, I'll try, but no promises. Selfies are a rare and hot commodity. Gotta put that degree to use somehow. My chakras were all kinds of crossed, but I appreciate the words. You are so sweet. Rare and hot indeed, LOL. That's enough. The fact that she circled the wrong thing, this you need to focus on. Rare and hot indeed. No! No! Sinner! Rare and hot indeed? Everybody in the chat is like, barf! Yes, she's that. And by the way, her saying, you're so sweet, is like, stop, please stop. Oh my God, please stop. Because if it was anything else, if she was into it, sweet would not be the word, I don't think. You don't want me to tell HR? If she sees what he's doing, and maybe she does, I don't know. Maybe she is playing along. Maybe she likes the attention because she just got out of a relationship. Not a lot of attention. She doesn't want a relationship. She doesn't even want him to cheat. Maybe it just feels good to feel pretty after a breakup. Maybe. Okay? But she's dancing with the devil. She's dancing with the devil. She's playing with fire because this guy is the devil. This guy is the devil. Yeah, send me selfies when I'm having a bad day. I need to see pictures. I've never seen somebody so pretty. And he's only been married for 6 months. So the marriage, the forever thing, he's probably like, geeking out. He's like, oh my God, I'm 6 months into this marriage. There's a girl at work. I think she's really pretty. I don't know what to do. Guess what, buddy? You should have figured that out before you married the girl. You should have figured that out before you proposed to her and you stood under an altar in front of all your family and friends and saying you're going to be in love with her for the rest of your life till death do you part. Everybody's saying divorce. Derek says brain farts happen, but if you never start the brain fart repairing process, you will live in the stench of fart brain. Derek is on one in the chat. Thank you, Derek. This is bad. This is bad news bears. This guy absolutely has intentions to cheat, asking for pictures of her. And then he deleted the messages. So he was trying to hide it. Why can't humans be decent people for once? Look, there's a lot of people out there who are decent. And there's a lot of people out there who aren't decent who grow and become decent. I don't think people are stuck as pieces of crap. This guy sucks, though. He got married and he's doing this. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, and he's saying, don't tell HR. Oh, he's going to lose his job and his wife. He's going to lose it all. He's going to lose it all. Everybody's saying not overreacting. No overreacting. Absolutely not. Just messy and desperate and clingy and like gross and like don't tell HR and you're cute and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's going to be divorce city, dude. I'm sorry. And she's not even buying into it. She's like, oh, you're so sweet. If you hit on somebody and they go, you're so sweet, it is not going to happen. You have a man who's trying to cheat on you. How sad that you have a man that cannot even do what he sets out to do, 'cause he swings and he misses. He swings and he misses, yeah. Pathetic. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend's friend has a problem with me asking him not to sleep in a bed with another woman. My boyfriend has a big group of friends with a lot of girls in it. A lot of times after they go out or have too much to drink, they will crash at someone's house. I don't know mentally where I would be if I was dating somebody. I would rather them not drive home. Yeah, but if they were in a house with a bunch of guys in it, I'd be like, can I pick you up? A lot of times after they go out or have too much to drink, they'll crash at someone's house. One night, he came home and shared he slept in a bed with this girl who the texts are from. We did not have a fight at all. I know he's grown up doing this. I told him I wasn't super comfortable with that and asked if he could not do that, to which he did not argue at all and expressed total respect for my boundary. We've not spoken about it since. Okay, so he says, hey, just so you know, I slept in bed with a girl once. He grew up doing that, which I don't understand what that means. But you know, folks, if you are I'm just going to say it. Okay? I'm saying the thing. Everybody focus. I'm saying the thing. When a man goes to sleep, sometimes he wakes up in a mood. Sometimes he wakes up with a surprise friend, a grown, healthy man with no, physical dysfunctions, will wake up with a thing going on. And so if you are in bed with a woman as a grown man and you happen to wake up with a thing going on, he's trying to, I don't know. In my opinion, a little weird. In my opinion. I don't know if culturally there's a different thing going on, but just for me, I'm not going to be doing that. Okay? But granted, he said that happened. She said, I don't like that. He said, okay, never again. The end. All right? She texted me the morning after they went out, which are these pictures. Am I overreacting by telling her she's overstepping, or are her concerns valid? So the girl that he allegedly slept in the same bed with, nothing happened, but they slept in the same bed. She says, hi, person. So last night when so-and-so and I went out, we all went back to somebody's house, and the boyfriend and I were going to take the pull-out couch, and he let me know you were not comfortable with him sleeping in a quote-unquote bed with me. Okay, let's not get linguistic here. Bed or not. If you're sleeping on a freaking couch together, that's even a tighter proximity. What are you talking about? Why are you putting bed in quotes? What's wrong with you, dude? While I totally understand, I want to let you know I have never tried to do anything with blank and would never. Okay, sure, fine. That might be true. But why do you want to... I felt bad that he had to sleep on the floor, and it just didn't seem fair to him. I promise there's nothing nefarious about us sleeping in a bed together. We've been friends for 16 years. Oh, they've been friends for 16 years. So she's probably the one who has been sleeping in the same bed with him for a long time. Everybody's like, people are putting friends in that. No, she needs to go. Somebody says, just talk about it. She totally has a thing for him, and he doesn't realize, says McKaylee. Okay, that could be it. Why is she fighting the girlfriend on it? That's what I want to know. That doesn't justify anything. Just friends. Girlfriend said it's a no, so it's a no. Yeah, totally. This person replied, hey, blank, I know nothing has ever happened between you two. Don't worry. For me, it's just a matter of what I feel is appropriate in my personal relationships. I trust him fully, but for me, I'm just not comfortable with him sharing a bed with another woman, even if he's known her for a while. It doesn't speak to either of you in terms of trustworthiness. It's just my boundary. Smiley face. That is expert level response. I would not be nearly that copacetic. That is a terrific response. I think he knows but lets it happen because he craves the attention. Oof. The desire to feel special, important, significant, the desire to feel, wanted, all of that stuff, man, will drive you to do crazy things. What's the song? Right, but he had to sleep on the ground. That doesn't seem fair. And he has back problems, so I'm sure he wasn't happy about it either. So now we have a friend defending the guy. And it's like, right, but he has back problems and he slept on the ground. Okay, then why don't you sleep on the ground and let him sleep on the couch? Friend, if you're a real friend, you sleep on the ground then. Why are you making that? What are you doing? I think this friend just wants to cuddle up. She wants a cuddle buddy. Everybody in the comments like, hell nah! She is too concerned about that. Absolutely not. I don't like her response. If it was a problem for him, he could have called me to pick him up or Ubered home or talked to me about it. He hasn't mentioned it to me. So the girlfriend is saying, boyfriend hasn't said nothing. Well, no. Okay, well, if I'm just being super transparent, who asked you to be transparent? I didn't ask you to message me at all. Stay over there. I don't need you to be transparent. I need you to get away. I need you to not actively be trying to sleep in the same bed as my partner. Goofy. Okay, well, if I'm just being super transparent, it just feels like it's really over-the-top possessiveness, and it's not a good look for either of you. Possessive? Possessive? I'll show you possessive. I'm gonna take some handcuffs and I'll lock you up, girl. You can trust Bob, or whatever the guy's name is, to sleep in a bed with his girlfriends, and seeing him sleep on the floor makes me so sad for him. Oh, it makes you sad that my boyfriend's sleeping on the floor and he's on the bed with you. Oh, it makes you so sad that my boyfriend is sleeping on the floor, that a grown man is choosing to sleep on the floor instead of in bed with you. I really like you and the two of you together, but I know him very well, and just wanted to give you an idea of how this might be affecting him / those around him. Tabitha? Or whatever this girl's name is. Well, I appreciate how much you care for Bob. Honestly, I feel like you're overstepping. Oop, bloop. This is not your business, and I find it strange. You're being a little insistent on demanding he sleep in a bed with you. He agreed to this boundary wholeheartedly. Needs a hyphen, but that's okay. I'll allow it. And that's all you need to know about it. It's my relationship, and he knows he can come to me if he has a problem with it. I'm done talking about this with you. Reddit, 10 a.m. And a little thumbs up. Response from Up. The blue text. This stuff. This text right here. This blue text. Terrific. Beautiful. Magnanimous. Fantastic response. Excellent boundary setting. 10 out of 10. All around. 10 out of 10 communication. 10 out of 10 saying my boyfriend has autonomy. He can do whatever he wants. 10 out of 10 saying I don't really like that you're kind of fighting to sleep in bed with my boyfriend after I've expressed this a couple of times. You're acting a little weird. I need you to knock it off. The friend of the guy being like, you're being weird. I'll show you weird, baby. Oh, I'll show you something weird. Have you ever heard of hydrochloric acid? Have you ever seen the show Breaking Bad? Trying to sleep in bed with my boyfriend, dude? Freaking dude. Ooh. I don't even need to read the comments for this. Let's read one. We'll read one comment. Not overreacting, you're allowed to have boundaries, and I can't imagine arguing with another person over their boundaries in a relationship. I also wouldn't want my boyfriend sharing a bed with another woman. It looks so weird for her to argue with you this hard on it. But also, why is your boyfriend discussing stuff about your relationship with her? It's none of her business. Hey folks, you want to last a long time in your relationship? Don't complain about your partner unless it's really necessary, okay? And when I say necessary, I mean unless you're really looking for support on something or you need help on something. But don't complain just to complain, because that's going to send a lot of mixed signals to people. You just got to talk it out. That's all it is. Not everything is a one-size-fits-all. You got to talk it out. That's the moral of the story today. Goodbye, everyone. Outro.